Hello students, welcome to the channel. We are learning active and passive voice. In the first part, we have learned how to identify the subject and the object correctly. In the second part, we studied about the identification of active and passive voice. In this part, we will learn about the conversion of voice from active to passive and passive to active. So let us begin. But first, let us devise the formula of active and passive voice. For active voice, it is S, V and O. For passive voice, it is O, V3 by S. Now let us see an example. An article was written by my aunt. Now the first step for the conversion of voice is to identify the voice to see if it is an active voice or a passive voice. So here in this sentence, we can see that written is the verb. It is also the past participle form of write. Article is an object and my aunt is a subject. Now according to the format, it is O V3 by S. So we can say that this is passive voice. Now the step 2 is to change the position of subject and the object. So here it goes. And the active voice becomes my aunt wrote an article. Now we can see that written is the V3 form of write, and here we have used wrote, which is the V2 form, which is the past form of write. Because in step 3 we will see that we have to make sure that the tense of the sentence remains the same. Now in this example we can see the word was. Now was tells us that the tense of this sentence is in past form. So when we see V3 form, which is the past participle, we convert it into the past form, which is the V2 form, so that the sentence of the active voice is also in past form. Now step 4 is to convert V to V3 for active to passive and V3 to V for passive to active, which we have already done. Step 5 is to add by before the subject for active to passive conversion. Now what we have done is passive to active conversion, so we have not followed this step 5, but which we will do in the next example. Let us consider the next example, which says a jellyfish stung her. Now stung is the past participle of sting, and sting means to bite. Now to bite, biting is a verb. So stung is the verb, jellyfish is the subject, and her is the object. The format goes S V O, like that of the active voice S V O. So this is an active voice and we are supposed to convert it into passive voice. Step 1 is to identify the voice, which we have done. Step 2 is to change the position of the subject and the object, which we have done, and hence we get the passive voice, she was stung by a jellyfish. Now here look that we have used the word by as stated in step 5 before the subject. The subject is the jellyfish. Now pay special notice here. In active voice we have the verb stung. In passive voice too we have the verb stung. But why so? When we look here, in active we have a different form of verb and in passive we have a different form of verb. This is because sting has 3 forms: sting, stung and stung, where the V2 and the V3 form are the same. So don't get confused, keep practicing and keep learning. That's all for today. We will study the next topic in the next part.